there from all over the world. And
yes, that was a shock to me. I didn't know about this until just a couple of days ago. I like everybody else, I believe the standard explanation that we get on the controlled media, which was that this was about the Somali pirates. But those little pirates have ships that are like 20 feet long, and there are warships from Russia, China, Sweden, I believe, or Norway, and America, and maybe one other country, and they're all there.
Australia, too.
Australia, yes.
NATO.
Now, what would they be doing there? And there's also isn't there some scientific research ships from some of the labs that are known for back engineering some of the technologies? I think.
I don't know, but it probably so.
Yeah.
And then when I was researching it on the net, I got this one email, or not email, but article, and it says 7 miles deep within the sea below the Aden Stargate is an awakening sentient consciousness creation with extraordinary capacity to assist in bringing peace to the world. The secret scientists are monitoring these anomalies, and they know they can do nothing to stop them. All planets in our solar system and our sun are showing transformational changes in composition and magnetic. All ancient and new grids are activating and will shortly demonstrate an unbelievable power by generating a 5D crystalline and electromagnetic shield firmament around the planet and a horizontal force field that will make aggressive use of weapons impossible. And so, excuse me just a second. I don't know why my voice was given out there.
That's all right.
And so along with that, with the end of the 7-year cycle, and with the Kali Yuga saying that peace begins, in 2010, and then we have all the warships gathering to make war against, whatever it is with the Stargate.
Right.
And so, which could be, and it said that there have been UFOs seen coming out of that particular Stargate.
Yeah. Oh, and then what about the UFO? This was a strange thing I noticed. There were 3 enormous globe-like UFOs right near the sun. I mean, so close that they would have burned up if they were asteroids.
Right.
And they're the size of a planet.
Yes, I saw those too, and I thought, wow, this is really the end of the cycle, when things like that start appearing.
Well, yes, and not to mention the Norway spiral.
Right. And that was pretty amazing too.
Yeah. So we're definitely seeing signs and things that can't be covered up, and they can't be explained away, and people are no longer buying the pablum that's being handed out, by the spoonful.
Right. Yeah, and then a friend of mine who channels the Palladian, she said that she was told by her guidance that after February, the world will not be the same anymore.
Wow.
And so I thought, wow, does all this time, correspond with this particular timing, like right now?
That'd be interesting if it did. I mean, sooner or later, we're so close to 2012 and 2011 when Kellerman says that everything's happening. Sooner or later, it is going to all coincide, and we will be in it. So it seems like it certainly could be. It's conceivable to me that this is a time of shifting into, the next age, which is supposed to be the golden age, where there won't be wars and there won't be duality and polarity. And as you said, so many people are light workers are working on creating a 5D crystalline grid for the new planet that is going to allow us to ascend to a higher level of consciousness.
Right, yeah, because I don't believe that there could be peace on the 3rd dimension or the 4th dimension Earth, but we'd have to be in the 5th for that peace to manifest, I think. Although if they put this electromagnetic grid out from the Stargate in the Gulf there, then weapons will refuse, they won't work anymore,
Well, that would be a relief.
Yes, that would be a very definite release, yeah. But we've been going through, like people say, well, we're going into fourth dimension Earth. Well, I believe that we've been in the fourth dimension Earth since 1987.
Yes, I think you're right about that.
Because we jumped a timeline, because the fourth dimension is where all the garbage and all the wars and everything, and then towards the end of the fourth, it gets really, really dark. And look at how dark it's been on Earth. It's just... Yeah,
terrible.
It has
People are isolating and having difficulty just surviving through this. And it seems to go on and on. The rape and pillage of the planet, and the bankers are just having a field day, throwing their arrogance in our face, robbing the coffers of the country, and so on and so forth. I mean, it's just endless. You could talk all night about the things that are going on. That it's a rotten basket of apples. It sure is, very definitely. Yeah. But anyways, so we have to move into the fourth, and then the good news is, like the 20th chapter of Revelations. So the 19th chapter is basically, and when I'd read that before, I thought, oh wow, this sounds like a major war, and I said, well, I didn't think we were going to have any more major wars, and I couldn't quite figure out how it would work out. But then now that I see all of these warships gathering in one spot in the world, I could see where it could break out, even if it's just simply a terrorist or a pirate war, I think it has more to do with the Stargate. And so if it is like in the Apotheca, where it says that, like where they all gather together against him, and then it says, like back to reading in the Ezra part, and it says, all these were gathered together, the stream of fire and the flaming breath and the great storm, and fell on the onrushing multitude, which was prepared to fight, and burned them up, so that suddenly nothing was seen of the insurmountable multitude, but only the dust of ashes and the smell of smoke. And when I saw this, I was amazed. And then I saw the same man come down from the mountain and call to him another multitude which were peaceable. And then many people came to him, some of whom were joyful and some sorrowful. Then in great fear I woke, and I sought the Most High, and said, from the beginning thou hast shown me, this servant, these wonders, and hast deemed me worthy to have my prayer heard by thee. Now show me the interpretation. And he answered me and said, I will tell you the interpretation of the vision, and I will also explain to you the things which you have mentioned. As for what you said about those who are left, this is the interpretation. He who brings the peril at that time will himself protect those who fall into peril, who have works and have faith in the Almighty. Understand, therefore, that those who are left are more blessed than those who have died. This is the interpretation of the vision. As for you seeing a man coming up from the heart of the sea, this is he whom the Most High has been keeping for many ages, who will himself deliver his creation, and he will direct those who are left. Now that says a mouthful right there. No kidding. No kidding.
And then it says, and when these things come to pass, and the signs occur which I showed you before, then my Son will be revealed, whom you saw as a man coming up from the sea. And when all the nations hear his voice, every man shall leave his own land and the warfare that have been one against another, and an innumerable multitude shall be gathered together, as you saw, desiring to come and conquer. But he will stand on the top of Mount Zion, and Zion will come and be made manifest to all people, prepared and built, as you saw the mountain carved out without hands. And he, my Son, will reprove the assembled nations for their ungodliness, and then they will be destroyed by the law. Now, without any weapons. And so my interpretation of that is that negativity destroys itself. And so, like, if there's some type of protection or something, like around a ship or something, and someone tries to fight against it, then I think that the energy would go back to them.
Well, that kind of falls in line with with the magic, the creation of magic, and casting spells and things. That everything goes back tenfold.
Right. And so if they have all these warships there, and they decide to fight, if they fight with something that has higher technology than we do.
I would think we're pretty primitive in comparison. Although we may have technologies that we haven't revealed that have been developed, but now that's a catch-22 because the corporations and the black operations that work on these projects that are 25, 50 years ahead of anything that we know of, in our daily lives, they can't bring them out because they're hidden.
That's right. Definitely. Yeah.
So it's there's a little catch-22 there. They can't exactly roll out the big guns when they're not supposed to have any big guns.
That's right, yeah. Unless they're behind the scenes like the HARP and the weather wars and the earthquake wars and everything that's been going on.
Well, definitely. In fact, I think I mentioned that I have a guest coming up he's going to be talking about the chemtrails and how they're and what their purpose is and how they're being used and so on. So there's no question that there are weather wars going on, and
right.
All the major governments are so concerned about it that they're putting up the chemtrails so that they can tell where the scalar waves are hitting. And supposedly that's what the chemtrails are for. If the scalar waves are which are invisible, are being emanated from another country, from a HARP facility, then these chemtrails separate in a certain way, and they can tell where they're being attacked. So it's a messy thing. It's a messy business going on right now.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. And I think that.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. Well, I think that, like, in the Revelations, I think it's been an outline of everything that's gone on, like with the dark beings, and that we've actually created our own Armageddon, and with the dark ones that are here, etc., until the very end of it, where the new heaven and the new earth comes in. But right after the 19th chapter, where all these are gathered together, to make war on those that come out with the ships, then it's the 20th chapter, and that talks all about the downfall of the controllers.
Oh. Is there anything that strikes you as something that we might want to know about? I mean, because, if they're going to fall, it seems that it might be partially due to a raise in the frequencies. They simply aren't going to be able to exist in a higher frequency.
That's right, yeah. And so that could be, too, because there's many different theories out there about what is happening right now, and so it could be, because, I was listening to David Sarita on Coast to Coast, and with his theory, that the Earth is going into higher frequency zone, and that when this happens, when the Earth gets there, then we'll all change because of the high frequency. And basically we'll change, like the Bible says, you'll change instantly from a mortal to immortal body. And it's like a sudden thing, because all of a sudden you're encompassed in this frequency, and then there's a change. And he was on Coast to Coast on December, I think it was the 21st of 2009. And he also said that there would be the solar activity, would be part of it, which we're moving into the solar, the main cycle, which is supposed to climax in 2012, I hear. And so with that, he also said that this blue cloud would appear, and then after I had listened to his CD, and I thought, and then I got this email, and here was this, NASA thing with a blue cloud in the...
I saw that. I was thinking Blue Star Kachina, but I guess it's not. But it is blue. And
yes, it's definitely blue.
They say they don't have a clue about what it is.
Right.
And they say that about everything. So, a lion pack of thieves over there, but, still, it's done something, and it's big, and it's blue, and it looks like kind of an arrow type of thing on its way somewhere. So
yeah, so I was wondering if that was the blue cloud that he was talking about.
I wonder. I wonder. And didn't David say in that interview that the sun is really the one that is